2014 World Cup meant that the only 8 sides to have ever lifted the World Cup trophy will all be playing in Brazil. Though their inconsistency meant they were the last of the 32 teams to qualify for 2014, La Celeste were the very first world champions, raising the Jules Rimet trophy in front of their own fans with a 4-2 victory over Argentina in 1930. But their greatest achievement came in Brazil, with their second World Cup title in 1950, clinching a 2-1 victory over the hosts and shocking the world in a match known as the Maracanazo. In 2014, though, coach Oscar Tavares is not expecting any similar results.
No tiene nada que ver con lo que va a suceder este mundial. Nosotros no tenemos la gloria por aquellos hombres por aquel momento. Pero ahora estamos en el mundial porque este grupo de jugadores clasificó para el mundial. Y Brasil está porque organiza este mundial. Y bueno, son otras circunstancias.
Might be surprised that Uruguay holds the world record for the most official international competitions. Their 20 titles helped by 15 Copa Americas. But despite their glorious history, 2014 is the first time La Celeste or Los Charruas have played back-to-back World Cups since 1990. At the last tournament in South Africa, Uruguay surprised many in their run to 4th place. After backing that up with victory in the 2011 Copa America, there seemed no doubt they were on the rise. Given that rise, it was remarkable that for the second consecutive World Cup cycle, Uruguay had to rely on an intercontinental playoff to make it to the finals. La Celeste won only 3 of their qualifying matches in the first 2 years, and at the end of 2012 were looking a poor bet to make Brazil. Until wins over Venezuela, Peru, Colombia and Argentina in the last 5 matches saw them through. Amassing 25 points to sit in 5th place, not enough to qualify automatically, but good enough to make the Intercontinental playoff. Although the playoff against AFC nation Jordan proved a formality, Uruguay cruising through 5-0 on aggregate, the lifeless 0-0 draw on home soil raised the question of which Uruguay will turn up in Brazil. Can the Charruas draw on their undoubted experience and talent, and are they ready to make some noise again? A major factor in Uruguay's recent success is head coach Oscar Tavares. Nicknamed the Teacher, Tavares has been in charge for more than 100 matches over 2 spells, 16 years apart. Firstly from 1988 to 90 and his current spell since 2006. The 66-year-old led Uruguay to the World Cup semi-finals in 2010 and the country's record 15th Copa America crown in 2011. His legacy already includes leading Uruguay's most successful national team since 1970. So whether or not Tavares takes Uruguay a step further than 4 years ago, his reputation as one of the nation's most successful coaches is already assured. The Uruguay side that will head to Brazil is built on the one from 4 years previous. And while familiarity is a strength, it's also their weakness, with too few new players added to the squad since their run to 4th place in 2010. And nowhere on the pitch is their lack of new blood more apparent than in defence. no denying Uruguay's defence struggled in qualifying. But without their captain and central defender Diego Lugano, things probably would have been substantially worse. Lugano is inching closer to 100 caps and gives the side aerial dominance and strong defensive instinct while chipping in offensively with 2 goals. When Lugano is partnered with Diego Godin, the pair show the excellent understanding required at centre-back. And in Maxi and Alvaro Pereira, Uruguay has a pair of hard-working wide players who can operate at full-back, in midfield or as wing-backs. But with slow and ageing centre-backs, particularly against tougher opposition, 2 central midfielders sit deep, occupying the space in front of the back 4. Tavares has drilled the midfield to be versatile and simply selects the shape that best counters the opposition. However, the creative talents of midfielders Nicolas Ladero and Gaston Ramirez have been subdued over the past few years. If one can come up trumps for a month in Brazil, it will make a huge difference to the team's prospects. The only fixed point is Arevalo Rios, an aggressive and energetic presence at the back of midfield, who is nicknamed the Catcher for his defensive presence. As any football fan knows, with Uruguay, it's the attack which contains the stars of the show. With Liverpool's Luis Suarez, PSG's Edinson Cavani, backed up by Cerezo Osaka's veteran Diego Forlan. Though 2010 Golden Ball winner Forlan will be 35 in Brazil and seemingly more of an impact sub, he is capable of adding extra bite to the Uruguayan attack when played in behind superstars Cavani and Suarez. But in the lead-up to the tournament, Tavares has preferred to use Suarez and Cavani as a fluid front pair. Suarez may polarise opinion with some of his past behavioural problems, but there's no doubt he's been one of the world's most prolific marksmen leading up to the tournament. Able to score every type of goal, while also creating chances for those around him, at 27, he already holds the record as Uruguay's top goal scorer. Suarez was top scorer in CONMEBOL, netting 11 times, despite missing 2 games through suspension, while his strike partner Cavani has stepped up his game, netting 6 in 18 matches. As the iconic Forlan has declined, it has been important for Cavani to provide another threat for La Celeste. 2013 was his most prolific year in the Uruguay blue. Either Suarez or Cavani can play wide if required. Such is their flexibility, and that is what makes Uruguay so dangerous. Predicting their movement is almost impossible. Uruguay have been handed a tough group, alongside England, Italy and Costa Rica. But they'll fancy their chances of progression. Their Group D adventures begin with Costa Rica, who could be their simplest opponents, while England and Italy could be stiffer competition. One thing is for sure though, and it's that with Uruguay nothing is sure. If their strikers are at their best, no matter who the opposition, Uruguay could be genuine contenders. But if Suarez or Cavani have an off tournament, they could just as easily crash out winless in the group stages. That would not be a pretty picture.